Hey everyone, it's Fionna Gossling from Royal LePage with your update as to what's happened in the Oakville real estate market in April 2022. So, as you might have heard, the market has started to shift. This is something that we started to see last month, and so the market was already starting to cool down. We weren't seeing as many multiple offers. If we did get multiple offers, it wasn't going for the same kind of insane or illogical price over asking. So we were starting to see a little bit of the market correcting itself, and then interest rates were increased by half a point, which has affected buyers' confidence a little bit. None of the market fundamentals have actually changed. There's still a lack of supply and a lot of demand, as we know from a few weeks ago even. But what has changed is buyers' confidence, and I think their enthusiasm to participate in multiple offers. And we're starting to see the strategy shift a little bit from pricing it quite low and holding back offers and seeing that kind of irrational price jump versus a more traditional approach of pricing it based on market comparables. Now, we're still pricing things based on market comparables from recent sales, and people are still getting good prices for their house. I'll go through the numbers with you. So, this is the market update. So as you can see, units sold in April were way down. We are on par. Normally real estate picks up in the spring. January is still a bit slow coming off of Christmas. And April, we were down to 268 sales. So we didn't have as many transactions happening. And when we didn't have as many transactions happening, we had more units available on the market. And so we saw a jump in months of inventory from kind of 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 up to 1.8. So we did have a doubling of months of inventory. And that's based on the fewer number of transactions. Our average sale price is reflective of being down, but we'll come back to that. And the median sale price is also down. This is interesting and good to keep in mind. So if you're comparing April 2022 to April 2021, the number of transactions are way down. They're down by 49%. But that's units sold. And that reflects buyers' confidence in the market right now. And I think a lot of people were just taking a pause. We also had 3 religious holidays that happened in April, and that tends to slow down people's purchases. Active listings are up. That's a good thing given how much pressure there's been on the real estate market in the last little bit. So for buyers, if you've been thinking about buying and just exhausted by the entire process, this is an opportunity to actually purchase something. Months of inventory has increased, which is nice because it allows buyers the chance to put conditions in there. We've started to see some conditions go back into offers, which is a nice balance for buyers. And for sellers, reasonably priced properties are still selling. They just need the proper strategy and the proper marketing and negotiation to get that sold, but they're still getting a really good price for it. And in fact, they're getting 16% more if you're selling this April than if you were selling last April. So although there were fewer transactions happening, if you're a seller, you're still better off. You know, your property is still worth 16% more today than it was last April. And days on market are pretty much the same there. This I found interesting. The average sale price is up again. Townhouses and condos are kind of floating around the same amount. You can go through this on your own if you want. These are all on my website under market statistics, but basically I track the average sale prices and median sale prices over the last 3 years in all property types. So this is freehold detached homes, this is freehold townhouses, condominium apartments, condominium townhomes. And then this, as always, is kind of what's been happening on the in the neighborhood breakdown. So what's most important to you is where you live and what's happening with property values in your neighborhood, or perhaps you're looking for an investment property and want to know the best place to invest for you, what's happening in that neighborhood. And this kind of gives you a bit of an indication. As you can see from our average list to sale price, the strategy of pricing it low and getting over asking is still happening, but that is starting to shift for sure. If you had any specific questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I am happy to be a resource. In the meantime, I hope you found that useful, and I'll check in again next month.